Good morning, everybody, and welcome to 11-Bit Studios' presentation of results for Q3 and the first 3 quarters of 2025. On my right, I'd like to introduce Mr. Przemysław Marszał, CEO of 11-Bit Studios. My name is Martin Balawajda. I'm the CFO of 11-Bit Studios. So welcome, everybody, and without further ado, we'd like to proceed with our presentation.
Hi guys, hi everyone. Nice to have you here, guys. Today we'll have a bit of a change in the form of presentation for Q3. We'll have some additional info for you today, not as short one as we used to have in these quarterly presentations. So I hope that will be more informative for you guys. And let's start with a short recap. Just before Martin will show you the results and we will talk about them. Let's talk about start with a bit of like who we are again, like who 11-Bit Studio is. You know 11-Bit Studios. We are an awesome independent developer, and we aim to be the best one, like with our relatable games. And we have a history of delivering a lot of awesome products. You see the numbers on the screen, and like I won't go through them, but we did a lot already, and we are doing that all the time with each year. With each of our product, with our people at 11-Bit Studios. Another part that we want to highlight, because that is the important stuff, that is where we are putting our work here at 11-Bit Studios are those 3 pillars that we have at 11-Bit Studios. It's a change that we announced in April of this year, and those are 3 pillars. Those are the internal development games. Those are new games that we do at 11-Bit Studios, like Frostpunk, like The Alters, like the Sword of Mine, etc. We did a lot of games with the Frostpunk 2 and The Alters recently, and that's the area where we aim for a lot of successes, for bringing new IPs to the players and showing how we are growing with our experience, with what we know about the games and what we want to show. The next pillar is something you already also know. It's an XDev pillar, with us being able to talk with external creatives, with gathering people from around the world, talking with them about games and releasing the games we believe in. That is another part of our approach to like having a chances for success at 11-Bit Studios, and also a kind of to diversify what we do, lessen the risk on the other areas. And like again, it's a great way for us to bring another players for the gamers. The third one is something new. We previously called it platform games. Now to even better like reflect what we mean is like more into the direction of games as a platform pillar. You already know the first game. We announced it like a few months ago. It's the Frostpunk 1986. And with this pillar, we aim to like strengthen our existing IPs and develop them for long years to come. We have a strategy for that. We have a plans with the people around that on how to update those games, how to develop games to be kind of an evolution platform for our players to have fun with what we do. And like that's the foundation. It will be able for you to better understand the results and what we will talk in a second about the new plans that we have. So switching to Martin.
So thank you very much, Przemek. So without further ado, I'd like to jump into the numbers. In the third quarter of 2025, 11-Bit Studios generated revenue of 44 million zloty. Total operating expenses reached 32 million, so we generated an operating profit of 12.5 million zloty for the quarter. EBITDA of 25.6 million, which represents an EBITDA margin of 58%, a net profit of 13.5 million zloty. When you look at the numbers compared with the third quarter 1 year ago, then yes, those numbers have declined. Top line revenue is 42% lower. Operating profit is also 79% lower, but I think the picture is best looked at when you compare 9 months of 2025 with the 9 months of 2024. Here you can see that the top line revenue number was broadly in line with 2024, 101 million Polish zloty, so only 5% lower than the previous 9-month period in 2024. Operating profit of 30 million compared with 53 million in 2024. But I would really like to highlight here within the operating costs, when you compare the 9-month period this year and the 9-month period last year, by looking at the change in depreciation policy. And just to remind you, following the release of Frostpunk 2 on console, we changed our depreciation policy from a straight line to a digressive structure. And in the first 12 months after a major title is released, then we have a total of 35% depreciation being charged, 20% being charged in the first quarter after the release, and then 5% for each subsequent quarter of the first year, so 35% in total. And that accounts for the very large increase in depreciation from the 9 months of 2024, where we had 5 million zloty depreciation charge, to 24 million for the first 9 months of 2025. Because, of course, also within that depreciation number, we include the altars, which is also going through the same depreciation regressive policy, so having a very high depreciation charge. So I think if you strip out the depreciation numbers for the 9 months of 24 and the 9 months of 25, and you look at our EBITDA, then again, this has also remained relatively stable. We had EBITDA of nearly 55 million for the first 9 months of 25, compared with 58 million of the corresponding period. So just a small 6% decline, which is also reflected in the same percentage decline as revenue, which declined by 5% in the period. Net profit margin for the 9 months of 25 was 22 million. Net profit, I beg your pardon, was 22 million Polish zloty, and a net margin of 22%. We present also in the financial statements the breakdown of revenue by titles, and here you can see the very broad mix that we have in revenue from 2025. In first place, we have the altars, which brought in 37 million zloty, Frostpunk 2 at 32 million zloty, Frostpunk 1 and This War of Mine, both now relatively old titles, still continue to generate good revenue for 11-bit studios, nearly 11 million zloty for Frostpunk 1 and nearly 6 million zloty for This War of Mine. And then finally, the Thaumaturge, which is the leading revenue number for our publishing titles, and all the other publishing titles are within the 10 million zloty number that you see for 2025. So that's the breakdown of the total revenue number for 2025. Coming on to the next slide, I'd also like to say a few words about our community-driven approach to our games, which is still very important for 11-bit studios, of course. And our active social media presence is another proof of that. Here are the numbers presented on this slide, and we'd like to say that we're keeping up with a very ambitious program, very ambitious numbers from last year. We're happy to say that we've managed to keep interest levels up in the altars, amongst other announcements that we've made this year. And the amount of times our content was displayed or watched and displayed shows a very high community level of engagement and continuing interest in our games. Moving on to the prospects for fourth quarter.
Thanks, Martin. You've seen the numbers, of course. You've seen the engagement numbers. You've seen the players, how they look, how they are attracted by 11 studios. When you saw the numbers, you also probably saw how diversified we are at 11 studios. That is something we were working for years, not to be just like connected to one IP or one game. A lot of it is happening there. Even when you look how the older titles, which aren't mentioned, that there's like in these results, you saw like 10 million Polish zloty. That is still strong. So that's what we aim for. We want to diversify. We want to have a lot of projects. We want to do them in a way for players to understand that there is 11-bit studios as an IP, and we bring out some games. And like coming to the Q4, that's a bit of a change to what we previously did in that kind of earning calls. We would like to show you some stuff that is prepared for this quarter. Some already happened, and we know that, but still a lot before us. And this is a very intense quarter, like a lot of is happening. And you will even on the last slide see how we look at the how we can use from that it is so intense. So let's start with something that happened yesterday. Of course, you definitely some of you know that yesterday we launched Moonlighter 2, first time for 11-bit studios in early access. That is something completely new for the company. We were looking at early access for years, and we are like deciding on whether we should start to do early access games. And with the Moonlighter 2, we decided that we will do it. It's a bit of connected to what we did with the previously with the game. Like we saw the numbers from the demo. You know, the reception was not quite well. We weren't happy about that, so we decided, okay, maybe that's the game you would like to extend and work with the work with players on. And like, because we highly believe in the Moonlighter, it's like the awesome game. We love the game, and the yesterday's launch, and it already showed us like, okay, the reviews are much better from what we saw with the demo. But that's just the beginning. You know, it's early access. We have a plan for like coming months. Like, it's not a full game. It's only on PC right now. We will like enduring quarters. We will work on the games with the players, and like we believe that this game will shine. Like we definitely believe this game will shine, and that's the first early access step that we've just made. Coming on next, we also have on some comments, of course, like saying the reception is very good on the game. But let's move forward. Frostpunk 2, you know, we also know that like we announced the release of the first major DLC, paid DLC, that is included in the deluxe edition. It is coming very soon, like just like in some coming weeks. Its main focus this time is like on the Utopia builder. It's kind of a sandbox, like better for you to understand what it is. Like we are expanding greatly the sandbox of the Frostpunk 2. We are bringing the depth to the fraction. That is something that is like also was requested by our players. Also, we are bringing some new tales, what we call some kind of arcs in the sandbox mode, for players to have a much more replayability and depth in what the Frostpunk offers. And this time about the fractions and about their utopias in the Frostpunk. So it's very soon, just around the corner. We are after the tests. A lot of is going on in the marketing side of the Frostpunk team, and we are like eagerly waiting for this to release. The next stuff that is still happening, like very soon, again in this fourth quarter, that is going to happen like just right now. It's the free major content update for the alters. It's again, it's huge, and like we have a great reception for that. Like we want to re-engage our players with the alters. That's one of the medium steps before we release the next year's first paid DLC for the alters, which will change a lot with the in the alters as a game. As for now, free major content update coming very soon. A little shared already, but still, you will see. You will in weeks you will learn more about it. That whole, that is something that is like coming also in this quarter. The game we just love, like what to say. It's very unique game. The reception is great. We have great Steam numbers for the Dead Hall. Also the tests, etc., all show us that this game is some kind of a small marble. It's a very small game, but the mechanics around them, the core stuff and gameplay that is happening there, it's like highly engaging. It's like now it's the question about the visibility, how much we will be able to showcase the game to the players, but a lot of it's happening still there. Plus, we also verified the game for the Steam Deck, like to highlight all of that, like that's happening in the fourth quarter. What will happen and already happened. we already planned something new, and it's 11 Studios Digital Showcase. We'll do it for the first time. It will be only for the players. It will be online, and it will be one of the ways for us to highlight the titles that we are doing right now. Highlight all the games that just released, all the DLCs, all of our portfolio, and show them to the audience. We of course see how others are doing. It's the first moment we believe that that kind of yearly showcase might be a successful element of our campaigns. So we are doing that. You will very soon know more, but it's just around the corner, 8th of December, so just around the corner right now. And like wrapping it all together is what you see, what we get from the audience and what we hear from the people. Like our games are nominated, not like the various games. You might have saw something, but the key nomination that just happened is for the Game Awards. So the biggest award ceremony. The last year we received a statue for the Frostpunk 2. It's in our office. This time we also did that. We are not yet. We didn't want it, but we are nominated for the altars, and like we are so happy about that. And today is again another ceremony happening. It's the Golden Joystick Awards happening today, and we were nominated there with the altars 2 times, with the best performing actor and also the game of the year. That is so cool. And something that I skipped in my previous slide is like on that date, will on that today at that ceremony we will reveal the date for the Dead Hole. So this is also the moment for you to wait, like in an hours we will announce when the release for the Dead Hole this year is. We will have a trailer there. We will have a presence not only with our games that were nominated for the ceremony, but also as a way to communicate to the players. Okay, this is the game that is coming, the Dead Hole. It's awesome, guys. Look at it. And that's it from our side. And we right now, I believe we can switch to the Q&A. But let me start with something that we already received. Like we received some of the questions from the independent investors. We asked about that. We decided, let's start with that. Like it came to us in the recent days. So let's just read them through and talk about them. The small change that is also happening right now, a bit of elation. We were asked by the independent investors to not only cover that in English but also in Polish. So we will, guys, like do it like in 2 languages. So sorry for a bit of inconvenience. So a double time. But like we wanted to respond also to the request, and like we will start with the Polish and then in English, okay? So sorry, switching to Polish for a second. Pierwsze pytanie, które dostaliśmy od inwestorów indywidualnych, pozwolą Państwo, że przeczytam. W poprzednich latach, w nawiasie, to są pytania po prostu, które dostaliśmy, to nie są przez nas oczywiście redagowane, my po prostu przeczytamy to, co dostaliśmy od inwestorów indywidualnych. W poprzednich latach, 2018-2024, zarząd spółki sprzedał na rynku akcje za prawie 21 milionów złotych, zmniejszając swoje zaangażowanie w akcjonariacie. Zarząd spółki planuje zwiększenie swojego udziału w akcjonariacie, szczególnie biorąc pod uwagę spadek kursu akcji na przestrzeni ostatniego roku. Tutaj bardzo krótka odpowiedź. Na ten moment nie planujemy żadnego zwiększenia w akcjonariacie. Now in English, in previous years, 2018 up to 2024, the company management sold shares of almost 21 million Polish zloty on the market, reducing their stake in the company. Does the company's management plan to increase the shareholding, especially considering the decline in the share price over the past year? Short answer, no, the management board, as for now, right now, does not plan to increase the involvement in the shareholding.
Thanks. Going on to the next question, następne pytanie. Spółka informowała wcześniej o możliwym skupie akcji z rynku. Czy są jakieś rekomendacje zarządu w tej sprawie? The company previously informed about a possible share buyback from the market. Are there any recommendations from the management board? Proszę Państwa, naszym priorytetem jest reinwestowanie kapitału w filary naszego wzrostu, a przede wszystkim zabezpieczenia w budżetu na kolejną generację naszych flagowych wewnętrznych IPs. Wierzymy, że reinwestycja oferuje najwyższy potencjał w długoterminowy wzrost inwestycji i jesteśmy pełni zaangażowani w tworzenie wartości dla akcjonariuszy i stale oceniamy możliwości alokacji kapitału, w tym wykup akcji własnych. So our priority remains reinvestment of capital into our growth pillars, most importantly to secure the budgets for the next generation of flagship internal IPs which are under development. We believe that reinvestments into the company offers the highest potential return on investment. However, we are fully committed to shareholder value and are constantly evaluating capital allocation options, including a share buyback.
Next question, następne pytanie. Czy spółka może odnieść się do ostatniego tekstu prasowego na portalu gram.pl, będącego wynikiem śledztwa dziennikarskiego dotyczącego projektu P8? Czy zaprezentowane tam fakty są prawdziwe? Can the company comment on the recent press article on the gram.pl portal resulting from a journalistic investigation regarding the project P8? Are the facts presented there true? Nie, prosto odpowiadając. Spółka nie uczestniczyła w jego redakcji. Podczas powstawania tekstu nie byliśmy proszeni o komentarz i w związku z tym nie widzimy potrzeby jego komentowania teraz. Short answer, no, the company did not participate in editing when asked for any editing and comment. Because of that, we don't see the need to comment it right now. Next question, następne pytanie. Jakie jest obecnie zaawansowanie prac nad projektem Frostpunk 1886? Czy w grze będą mikropłatności, czy może będzie ona rozwijana przez płatne DLC i bezpłatne aktualizacje? Kiedy zobaczymy pierwsze materiały z tej gry? What is the current progress of work on the Frostpunk 1986? Will the game feature microtransactions, or will it be developed through the paid DLCs and free updates? When we will see the first materials for the game? Rozmawialiśmy już z Państwem o tym, że te prace są coraz bardziej intensyfikowane. Myślę, że z tego co pamiętam na połówkowym spotkaniu też już troszkę o tym mówiliśmy. Zespół się intensywnie rozwija, dziś liczy już wyraźnie ponad 20 osób. Zbliżając się do tego pełnego rozmiaru produkcyjnego, Państwo to wtedy opowiadaliśmy, że będzie około 30 osób. Nie planujemy mikropłatności w tej grze na ten moment i tak ta gra jest rozwijana. Oczywiście będziemy informować Państwa o rozwoju, o progresach tego projektu. Myślę, że przy naszym spotkaniu rocznym też ta opowieść się pojawi, gdzie jesteśmy. I oczywiście ta gra będzie rozwijana przez różnego rodzaju DLC. Planujemy, że w trochę krótszych odstępach mamy gdzieś cały wieloletni plan na rozwój tej pierwszej platformowej, jak to nazywamy, gry przed sobą, więc tu będzie szereg DLC-ków, aktualizacji. Prosimy Państwa o cierpliwość. Będziemy oczywiście przy materiałach marketingowych, które Państwo wiedzą, że najczęściej wokół nich opowiadamy o naszych tytułach, mogli powiedzieć więcej i rozwinąć tą narrację i trochę więcej też opowiadać o tytule. So coming back to English, again, the question was about Frostpunk 1986. Sorry for the long explanation in Polish. So regarding the Frostpunk 1986, we are intensifying our work on the title. The team is successfully expanding, and now the numbers are over 20 people right now. So we are closing to 30, which is our destined team size for that project. We are not planning on, as for now, any microtransactions for the game. Of course, we will successfully inform you guys on the progress. It will be connected with the marketing materials we will share along the way for that project. And of course, those games will be developed through various kinds of updates, DLCs, paid and free. So a lot will be happen around that game. That's the core of the approach to that game as a platform for the Frostpunk 1986. The next question. Mimo zapowiedzi spółki o chęci poprawy sytuacji oceny Frostpunk 2 na Steam. Proszę, one question, I was still thinking about something else. Następne pytanie, next question. Mimo zapowiedzi spółki o chęci poprawy oceny Frostpunku 2 na Steam, te oceny nadal pozostają niskie. Jakie spółka planuje podjąć działania, aby te oceny poprawić? Despite the company's announcements about its desire to improve the situation, Frostpunk 2 ratings on Steam still remain quite low. What actions does the company plan to make to improve these ratings? Starting in Polish. 8 grudnia, jak Państwo wiedzą, startujemy pierwsze duże DLC z serii zapowiadanych. Ten dodatek już Państwu troszkę omówiłem. To jest pierwszy krok. To, co myślę, że jest ważne dla Państwa, żebyście Państwo oczywiście wiedzieli, cały czas zespół Frostpunka 2 pracuje nad rozwijaniem, znają Państwo roadmapę. Wszystko wydaje mi się, że wokół tytułu dość dobrze komunikujemy, jakie będą kolejne DLC, jakie są update'y i tak dalej, więc zobaczą Państwa i sami my zobaczymy 8 grudnia, jak gracze przyjmą to rozwinięcie, jak będą dalej bawić się Frostpunkiem 2. On December 8th, we will release the first expansion and for the Frostpunk 2, and it's called Fractured Utopias. It offers advanced capabilities to create on gameplay scenarios based on the extensive systems of the base game. It will expand the sandbox. I already told you about that, guys, during the presentations. So the team is still working on that. There's a roadmap for the Frostpunk 2. So I believe we are quite transparent on what's going on and what's our plan for improving the situation with the Frostpunk 2. Still, a lot of players are still playing the Frostpunk 2. So we have a lot of hardcore fans with numbers of hours in the Frostpunk 2. The next question, następne pytanie. Kiedy spółka zamierza zacząć komunikować kolejne projekty? Oprócz zapowiedzianych już Frostpunk 1.8.8.6, DLC i Altersów i Frostpunka 2. When does the company intend to start communicating further projects besides the already announced Frostpunk 1.8.8.6 and DLCs for the Alters and Frostpunk 2? Mamy nowe projekty w Xdevie, mamy też oczywiście nowe projekty w Devie. Na konferencji inwestorskiej pokazywaliśmy Państwu nasz plan, to co na tym planie się dzieje. Planujemy odnieść się też do tego planu, pokazać Państwu więcej, gdzie jesteśmy z tą realizacją na konferencji rocznej. Będziemy mogli przejść z Państwem przez to, ile się udało zrobić. Natomiast mamy jeszcze raz, kontynuując co zacząłem mówić, mamy oczywiście nowe projekty nie tylko w Devie, ale też w Xdevie i więcej opowiemy przy publikacji następnego raportu. Prawdopodobnie na przełomie marca i kwietnia. Na ten moment, to co dzisiaj Państwu opowiadaliśmy, to jest tylko i wyłącznie 4. kwartał tego roku, bo tak jak Państwo widzą, są dla nas dość intensywne. So we have new projects in XDev and announced ones, and we'll show more, and also new projects in Dev that are also unannounced, and we'll show more info when the next report is published, which should be around March and April next year. And in the meantime, as you can see with this presentation, we are focusing on Q4 news and stuff that is being released at 11bit Studios. The next one. Jak liczny jest zespół The Alters i czy można już powiedzieć, kiedy w 2026 roku ukaże się DLC? So how large is The Alters team and can you already say when the DLC will be released in 2026? Krótka odpowiedź, proste pytanie. Zespół na koniec września liczył ponad 50 osób, a jeśli chodzi o to duże DLC, planujemy na koniec pierwszej połowy 2026 roku, czyli to będzie w okolicach rocznicy premiery, tam gdzieś chcemy być z tym DLC. So the DLC, this paid DLC is planned for the summer, for the end of Q1 2026, and the team is currently over 50 people, and that's the data you asked for. The next one. Spółka zarejestrowała ostatnio w bazie znaków towarowych znak CROP, w nawiasie link. Czy będzie to nazwa kolejnej gry wydawnictwa? Jeśli tak, kiedy może dojść do jej wydania? The company recently registered the trademark CROP in the trademark database. Will this be the name of the next game from the publishing house? If so, when might it be released? Państwo pewnie śledzą, że oczywiście my rejestrujemy co jakiś czas jakieś znaki towarowe. Dziękuję za spostrzegawczość, ale nie mamy tutaj żadnego komentarza, nie chcemy tego komentować. Jeśli będziemy gotowi oczywiście podzielić się, dlaczego to zrobiliśmy, to zrobimy to w odpowiedniej kolejności. Na ten moment jednak unikamy komentarza do tego pytania. So companies in our sector customer registered trademarks, we did it like already for the numerous times. If you are ready, we will share the details of when we'll be in some kind of a pipeline in the future, when we would like to talk about more what that crop means for us. The next one, ile osób zatrudnia obecnie spółka, jaka jest liczebność poszczególnych zespołów tworzących gry? How many people does the company currently employ? What is the size of the individual game development teams? First in Polish. Zatrudniamy niecałe 270 osób obecnie w firmie. Oprócz zespołów deweloperskich mamy też szereg osób tworzących te rzeczy wokół, czyli możemy to nazwać departamenty wsparcia. Oczywiście większość tego zespołu zdecydowana to zespoły deweloperskie z tej liczby całościowej. So we employ like a bit less than 270 people right now in the company. Like of course, like there's not only devs, but the majority of that number is for the dev teams that create games, so products at 11 Studios. The next one. Spółka komunikuje, że premiera gry Dead Hole na PC nastąpi w tym roku. Nadal jednak nie mamy daty premiery, kiedy możemy się jej spodziewać. The company communicates that the premiere of the game Dead Hole on PC will take place this year. However, we still do not have a release date. When can we expect it? Od razu odpowiedzieliśmy na to pytanie Państwu w prezentacji. Dzisiaj wieczorem ta data zostanie ujawniona. We already answered that during the presentation. It will be revealed today on the Gala of Golden Joystick Awards. With the next one was already answered during the presentation. Następne pytanie już było opowiedziane tak naprawdę przeze mnie w prezentacji, jak oceniamy premierę na ten moment. How does the company assess the launch of the Moonlighter 2? There was no visible major interest in this title before the launch. Więc nie mam po polsku, pozwolę po angielsku na początku, ale Państwo już usłyszeli naszą komunikację. To jest Early Access. Wystartowaliśmy go teraz pierwszy raz w 11-bit Studios. Oceny Państwo sami widzicie, są wyraźnie lepsze tam, niż to, co było z demem, które pokazaliśmy Państwu kilka miesięcy, graczom tak naprawdę, nie Państwo, kilka miesięcy temu. Tu, co jest kluczowe, to kluczowy jest rozwój tej gry, to jest Early Access. Zakładamy duży rozwój tego tytułu. Bardzo wierzymy w Moonlightera 2. Uważamy, że to jest świetny tytuł. Mamy to zaplanowane. Chcemy, żeby ta gra błyszczała. Naprawdę, żeby this game will shine for us. Tak naprawdę myślimy o Moonlighterze drugim. Teraz intensywny okres intensywny okres pracy nad Moonlighterem drugim, mamy z zespołem plany, jak teraz rozwijać. Oczywiście rozmawiając z graczami, bo o to w tym wszystkim chodzi, żeby ten Early Access był gdzieś połączony z graczami, tak jak demo, które Państwo widzieli i dużo z tego, co usłyszeliśmy od graczy, co deweloper usłyszał od graczy, bo oczywiście on też jest bardzo mocno w to zaangażowany, żeby te rzeczy znalazły się w tytule. And in English I already answered that, like when I was commenting on the yesterday's launch, you know that it's early access. We are right now working on like improving the game with the audience, with the players, and it will be an iterational process, but the game will, we believe so, will shine, and it's already a very good, very playable game. It's like the mechanics are very sweet, but again, it's early access, it needs improvement. It's not a whole product. The game will be bigger. We know what's the scale, etc., etc.
Następne pytanie właśnie dotyczy Early Access Moonlighter 2. Kiedy planowane jest wyjście Moonlighter 2 z Early Access do wersji pełnej? Jak wygląda sprawa rozliczenia Moonlighter 2 z Microsoft Game Pass? Spółka informowała, że prowadzi rozmowę z Microsoftem o tym rozliczeniu z uwagi na fakt, iż gra wychodzi w Early Access. Jaka część wynagrodzenia za Moonlighter 2 od Microsoft zostanie wykazane w sprawozdaniu za czwarty kwartał, a jaka po wypuszczeniu pełnej wersji gry? So the question is, when is the planned transition of Moonlighter 2 from early access to the full version? What is the status of the Moonlighter 2 settlements with Microsoft in the Game Pass agreement? The company informed that it is negotiating with Microsoft about this settlement due to the game being released in early access. What part of the remuneration for Moonlighter 2 from Microsoft will be recognized in the fourth quarter, and what part after the release of the full version of the game? Pełna wersja Moonlighter 2 jest uzależniona troszkę od informacji zwrotnej użytkowników. Będziemy informować o planach wydawniczych na bieżąco. Jak Państwo wiedzą, co do zasady spółka nie komentuje sposobu i szczegółów dotyczących rozliczeń z Microsoftem. The full version of Moonlighter 2 is somewhat dependent on user feedback. We will inform investors about the publishing plans on an ongoing basis. And as you know, as a rule, we do not comment on the method and details of the settlements with Microsoft. Następne pytanie. Czy wszystkie rozliczenia dotyczące Altersów i Frostpunk 2 za Microsoft Game Pass zostaną uiszczone i wykazane w sprawozdaniu finansowym za rok 2024? Will all settlements regarding Alters and Frostpunk 2 from Microsoft Game Pass be paid and accounted for in the 2024 financial reports? Nie. Jakaś mała kwota względem wartości w całej umowy zostanie rozliczana w drugiej połowie 2026 roku. So the answer is no. A small amount compared with the value of the entire contract will be settled in the second half of 2026.
Sorry guys, I was thinking about something else. The next question is, jak spółka planuje poprawić skrajnie negatywny sentyment do spółki na rynku, będący wynikiem błędnych decyzji oraz komunikacji z inwestorami dotyczącymi projektu P8? How does the company plan to improve the extremely negative market sentiment towards the company, which resulted from the errors, decisions and communications with the investors regarding the PA? To pytanie od Państwa, które do nas przyszło, myślę, że to, co możemy, nie chcę się odnosić do samego pytania i komentować, natomiast myślę, że najważniejsza jest oczywiście, Państwo wszyscy zdają sobie sprawę, komunikacja, trochę cierpliwości, no i co najważniejsze, jakościowe gry. To jest klucz tego wszystkiego. Wszyscy będziemy zadowoleni, jeśli będziemy mieli jakościowe gry. To jest nasz najważniejszy fokus. Komunikacja kluczowa. Dlatego też zdecydowaliśmy dzisiaj, aby zacząć od tych pytań, które od Państwa, od indywidualnych inwestorów do nas przyszły, porozmawiać po polsku o tym, odpowiedzieć na to na tyle, ile możemy ujawnić, żebyście Państwo, mam nadzieję, wiedzieli po tej konferencji więcej, może nie konferencji, a po tym naszym Q&A-owym spotkaniu więcej. So regarding the question, I don't want to comment on it, but like for us the communication is the key. a bit of patience right now, maybe better communication in some areas, like this meeting right now today, and definitely games. Like when we'll have like successful games with each year, like everyone will be happy, the players, you investors, us, our developers, like, and we are heavily working on that, and like that's the focus at Level Studios.
The next question is it's a financial reporting question. So let me read it first in Polish. Czy w przyszłych raportach spółki możemy spodziewać się prezentacji kosztów produkcji gier rozbitych na poszczególne projekty, a nie tak jak dotychczas prezentowanych tylko zbiorczo? Can we expect the company's future reports to present game production costs broken down by individual projects and not just collectively as presented so far? Proszę Państwa, jesteśmy w trakcie analizy naszego procesu sprawozdawczego i pochylimy się również nad tym tematem. So we are currently analyzing our reporting process and we will also address this topic.
Okay, guys, there was one other question, ale jesteśmy trochę skonfundowani. Ja je przeczytam. We don't have the precise answer for that. Na konferencji inwestorskiej spółka zapowiadała, że w tym roku pokaże jeszcze jedną grę z nowego segmentu Platform Games. Czy te plany są nadal aktualne? At the investors conference, the company announced that it would show one more game from the new Platform Games segment this year. Are the plans still current? We couldn't verify that. We didn't have that much time because, as you can see, we just brought the Q2 report, and like a lot of questions at the presentation, etc., etc. Like I think what is important for you, there is an next game in plan, but that's not the moment to release and comment and say what we want to do, what will this game be. So definitely that's not the moment to share any info for this game. We are focusing on Q4, the stuff that is happening at that moment. We are closing to the ending time, but like we already received some questions from you guys from the internet. So I'm sorry, I'm looking for at the computer like during the presentation and was doing so because I was checking if there are some new questions coming in, and there are some new questions coming in. We'll do them. Sorry guys, we'll do them in English right now. Maybe some Smallish comment, but most of them are, I believe, very short. So we will try to answer all of those questions as for now. So let me start with these. So following yesterday's release, do you see any risk that the investment outlays for Moonlighter 2 may not be recovered? Like definitely it's too early. Again, it's like early access stuff. It's like there will be more like platforms, you know that. And always there is a risk. But as for now, we don't see that kind of a risk. So no, it's not yet. Like we'll observe because there was the weekend, but it's early access. So like we don't see such a risk as for now. How long after the early access launch is the release of the 1.0 version of Moonlighter 2 planned? I think a bit of that was already shared during current talk. Like again, we'll work with the players. We are doing that with our developer. Like I think the exact fact for you is like our current estimation is a duration between 9 to 18 months. That's the target. Either we'll be at the beginning or in the middle at the end of that amount of time. We don't know that yet. We will see and we will observe. So that's why we do it with the early access approach.
Mm-hmm. I think the next question we've received also concerns how many people are currently working on projects that are being capitalized. So I've been sent to hear the numbers, and at the moment for Frostpunk 2, on Frostpunk 2, the DLCs, we have 59 people working on that project. Regarding the altars, 58 people. Frostpunk 1886, it's 18 people. Project 12.
I think it's a mistake.
Six people.
It's Martin. Like we are gathering data right now for you guys, so I think that's a mistake. it's more than that number.
More than 6, and also, so we will confirm that number, and that will be made available from by our investor relations manager and one person on project 13.
Yeah, so project 12 around 6%. I think if anyone of you is like really curious about the, like, just grab us via email. We'll double check all of that. Like, I think there were some mistakes here.
Mm-hmm. How many people are working on the DLC for the altars, and how many on the DLC for Frostpunk 2? We will check those numbers, and it's approximately 50 plus, but we will confirm those numbers for you.
Thanks. Sorry, guys. Do you plan to carry out any marketing activities this year related to new, not yet announced projects? No, guys. We already said that. Like, Q4 is for what we announced already. Like, a lot of stuff, a lot of communication, a lot of materials. Like, you saw the numbers of trailers we are doing, and social communication, etc. It's like with that amount of titles, adding another communication would be just too much. So now we are sticking to Frostpunk 2, Moonlighter 2, Dead Hole, the others update, already a lot. So, like, and still, like, the Indica there is some communication with Indica, etc., etc. A lot of stuff. So Q4, nothing more. Yeah. And the last question: do you already have an idea of the direction in which you want to develop the Frostpunk 2 and the Frost slash? That's the question. In the direction you want to develop the Frostpunk IP slash Frostpunk 3. We have an idea where we want to develop the Frostpunk IP, and, like, I don't want to comment more, but we have it. Like, we know what we want to do with the IP. There are plans for that. So yeah, it's like we strongly believe in Frostpunk, and, like, we are working already. You know that Frostpunk 1.9.6 is being done, but okay, we have an idea what to do more with that. I don't want to add more, guys, and that's it. I think that's the end of the questions. We are a bit past the time. I hope a lot of those questions are answered, brought you some details, maybe some you now see how we operate. If you had any concerns, etc., etc. If you have any additional questions, like, contact us with our IR team. There is an info, there's an email for that. We will gladly, like, meet you guys if you'd like to in person or during another conference. So stay in touch. Thanks everyone, and see you soon.